All right, we are live streaming Freedom Fridays, where we do live Q&A every Freedom Friday or every Friday at 11:30 CST for Scalability subscribers so they can ask questions. My name is Aaron Jennings with Scalability, where we are leveraging technology to advance God's kingdom. And so we have built-in tech and all sorts of stuff going on, but ultimately on Fridays, we make sure that you're not left trying to figure it out yourself. And we actually go over systems, strategy, and how to leverage automation and systems in your business or in your ministry so that you can multiply that time and get back to doing the things that are important. So I will always have users of Scalability, and we'll either be doing just live Q&A or we'll be building something live, something along those points. So I'm going to jump right into it so that we can start answering some questions and just talking through what everybody's got going on this week. So we'll bring a few people in. And as soon as people start showing up in here, we will start answering some questions. And then I know I've got some questions from our private community as well. So we will start going over those, but I always start with the people that are live first. So if you are not an active subscriber to Scalability, as soon as you sign up for your free trial, you immediately get access to these free systems sessions with me where we work on the strategy behind your business. So go ahead and unmute yourself and let's get interactive. What do you guys have questions on this week? Crystal, I knew you had something. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was working on the Label Breaker Live part, and so I cloned our funnel that you made and kind of redid it as a live. So I know you said to like maybe just add a join to labelbreakers.com. But so I was wondering, you know me, how to do that. Like, so can I, because I still like the BU retreat. So can I do like labelbreakers.com/ the BU retreat as
Yeah, you
the
can do
link
it.
to join?
You can do it for whatever you want, essentially. So did you clone the funnel step?
So I don't know. I like clone the
Okay.
whole funnel. And so that's my question. I don't
Oh,
know
you
how to
cloned the whole
connect.
funnel. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to connect that if I clone the whole funnel and if I need a new domain that says labelbreakers.com/ the BU
Gotcha.
retreat. The
Okay.
next step in the process.
Gotcha. So here's what I'm going to do. So Crystal has a Label Breakers, which is a paid community, but then she also has a live event that she's getting ready to do. So this is a demo account. I'm going to share what you're doing. This is just a demo account we have in Scalability, so I can actually show you instead of just talking about it for everybody watching. We like to try and do these where we can help everybody move through. So she has a paid community website, like a funnel, right? A sales page. And inside of that, let's say scalable subscriptions right here is that funnel. There's stages, right? There's a sales page and a success page. You cloned the whole funnel here, right? You click the three dots, you clone the whole thing. Now you had two funnels.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, go into your funnel. So we've got sales page success. Just clone like this page. So if we clone this page, then we can clone this step in this funnel, and it will literally clone that just right here at the bottom. So then the domain that you already have connected, like if you have label breakers, like this one says VIPbuyersclub.com sales page, in the settings here, that's the domain connected. So by adding this third step, the domain stays the same. But now I can come to this one, I can click on this step, and I can actually just click on publishing, and I can change the path right here to live event or whatever you want it to be. Copy that, save it, and it will update the path for that one. And they'll bring you right back here. Then click this little settings wheel and paste the same thing here. Live event, paste. Now the domain stays the same. So you had labelbreakers.com on this funnel already for your community, but this specific page, nobody would get to this page unless they get this link right here. So you see now it stayed VIPbuyersclub.com/live event. So now I could share a link directly to this link right here, and it would skip over this page, and it would land right there on that one. So then on this one, you could have a sign up form where they join your event, takes a payment, whatever you want. And you could clone the success page if you wanted and put it right underneath here, because you can just slide these around, right? So if we clone this one as well, in the same, in the current funnel, it will automatically drop it at the bottom. And then same thing, you would change the path, right? So now we've got a success. It's the same as that one. Do the publishing, change the path, and let's say event success. Copy, update the step. And then click the wheel here and make it the same. So now on this sales page for the live event that we just did, the first one right here, you can make it to where it takes their payment, signs them up, triggers an automation, and then it just goes to the next step in the funnel, which will drop it right here. So if somebody goes labelbreakers.com, it's still going to take them to the main sales page. They'll never even find this unless you share that event with the slash.
Okay, so if I've already like cloned the whole funnel, I can just take the first page of that funnel and turn it into the sales page instead. And then like we have a new product and all that with it.
Yep. So let's say this was scalable, your label breakers, right? And you came in here and you cloned the whole funnel. We'll just copy it. So you've got two of them sitting here. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to change the paths, right? But so now we've got the copy. If we open that up, you're going to go to settings here. And if I choose the same domain, VIP Buyers Club, then I have to change this path right here to that live event.
Okay.
Okay, so when you created the new funnel, the first time for the first page, because this part's not set up on the first page, this is a copy. So you're setting up the same domain, labelbreakers.com, then change this, the path, so that it knows to go to the live event or to the other one.
Okay.
Okay, because you already have labelbreakers.com going to your community sales page. So this has to be done if you're going to use the same domain on both funnels.
Okay.
Okay, that tells the World Wide Web where to send people. So you'll do that, and then it basically has all four steps, right? Because we cloned the whole funnel. So it showed these whole things. But if we have that one, then you still have to come in here to publishing and change it to the same, right?
Okay.
Just like we just did in that last step. We change it in the settings, and then we change it here. And then the same thing, this is going to open up settings and change it there.
Okay. So like if I changed all the buttons and stuff on there, it like brings up the sales page. It will bring up my old sales page. So I need to change the sales page or like the contact form, or can I still just use the same contact form
No,
that's
you
on
would
that
want to,
button?
you're basically wanting to just leverage the design that's in here. So you're going to want to change the design or change the buttons, change the form and everything for your event.
Okay.
Because you're going to want a payment form, right, on this where they can pay and buy a ticket. And so you're going to have to put a product on this stage of the funnel. So you're basically, the only reason you're cloning is so that you can have all the design elements already in there.
Right.
Right. If we start a brand new one, you have to design from scratch, redo all your pictures, text, everything else. If we clone it like this, the only reason we're cloning like that is to save all the design work that you've already done. And so basically I would go into this because it's the copy. You would go in, and if you wanted to keep the same design and layout, you would click and you would change the action of the button. So, I mean, the button may still open the pop-up, but you're going to change all the text to talk about the live event, all the pictures to talk about the live event. You're going to do, all the stuff included about the live event, everything like that. Everything's going to change. You're just using kind of the layout and everything to save you a bunch of time creating it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Sort of.
Sort of. Just keep plugging away with it. The more you do it, the easier it gets, I promise.
And then one thing, like I know we were this is like since I had you right here. I know we were gonna add some more like review people because how you set up my reviews is different. So sometime if we can add a couple more review people and you can show me how to do that, that'd be awesome.
On your labelbreakers.com on your sales page. Okay. Yeah, send me a Facebook message or something. Remind me.
Thank you.
Cool. MJ, what's your exciting news?
Well, I'm halfway through my publishing process of my second children's book.
Mhm.
Pretty excited. I'm going to be working on the illustrations now. Um, that is the excitement of my news. Um, I'm still floundering, if you will, as to what my calling is as far as, subscription, membership, any of that kind of stuff. But I did have a couple of simple questions that have to do with my and Dream She Would funnel.
Yep.
One of them is I had a bit of a aha that somebody wanted to order 2 books from that site, and it wouldn't let her order 2 books. So I didn't know. Crystal kind of helped me a little bit a few weeks ago, and this is how long it's been sitting, but on maybe what might work, but I've left it as it is, and we worked it out another way. So that's my first question. And then the second question would be is if I take a domain name that I have from my old website,
Mhm.
how do I bring it over to scalability? I'm just basically doing the same thing that I was doing with the first one.
Yes. So all domains are going to connect the same way, right? So you're going to go into settings in the bottom left, click on domains in the left side menu and add a domain. And if it's GoDaddy, it's going to automatically connect and add a couple CNAME records to point your domain to scalability. So scalability, WordPress, Square, GoDaddy, they're all website builders, right? And our domain can only point to one builder at a time. So if you have a domain that you already own and it's pointed to say WordPress and you have a website built in WordPress and you want to point it to scalability to your new website that you built in scalability, then yes, you would just add the domain. And when it adds the new DNS records, it's going to no longer point to WordPress. It's going to redirect it to scalability. At that point, your old WordPress site won't show up anywhere anymore because it's going to remove the domain and point it a different direction. So make sure you have your funnel ready or your website ready when you point them over.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I do have another question.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to ask too many because it's not very hard for me to absorb it all. But so on my And Dream She Would funnel, let's just hold off on the new domain that I was just talking to you about. How does it work that I would make another funnel for this next book, yet under the same domain name?
So exactly like we just did with that one with Crystal, go back
Yeah.
and watch the first part of this video.
Okay.
Because naturally this will be on the YouTube channel as soon as we're done. But go back and rewatch that first part because you're going to clone the whole funnel,
Okay.
right? Which that's what we did the second part on what we just did for her. Clone the whole funnel, and then you're going to connect the same domain to both funnels and change the path. So
Okay.
it might be, what's the domain name?
Team J Creatives.
For the books? Okay, so if you have teamjcreatives.com
That's my,
pointing,
yeah. So I would put a slash and then
yeah,
put maybe the name of the next book.
yeah, do like book 1, book 2.
Okay.
Yeah, or the
Okay.
name of the book, first book, name of the second book. Yep, exactly. So you
Okay.
can put the domain to both funnels and just change the path.
Okay. I
Yep.
think I got that.
Yeah, because you can still when you're telling people to go places, you can still click here to get the thing and you just link it and they never even see the whole domain and everything else. So cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Mindy, what's going on this week?
I drove to Georgia, got here yesterday. I haven't brushed my hair today, so obviously I'm getting more comfortable in front of the Zoom camera, so
That's
that's
right. That's
progress.
right.
I had a
Some
hat and I
people
was
think
like,
it's lazy. I'm like, no, we're just becoming friends.
well, you know what? I was like so like paranoid. I didn't want to show my face. You're all critical, right? But now I'm like,
Yep.
obviously I don't care anymore.
That's right. It's more realistic. We're real people doing real life like everybody else. It's okay.
Right. Totally. Yeah, so I last week you went over how to do the instant response to Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. Yep.
And I did one video and I got like 30 people. I said, respond, tell me. And I got like, oh, I think like 20 or 30 people that did it, but I didn't set it up right. So I'm working with a message guy. I'm working with a
Live
customer
chat.
service guy. Yeah. So I'm working on that. I took a video while you were doing it last week and
Right.
I don't know what I did wrong, but I mean, on the good note, like I got a lot of response, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Absolutely.
exciting. Bad news is I had to like individually respond to them because it wasn't doing it, but hopefully I'll get that figured out because that is encouraging if I did just one video.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I can start doing them once I get the hang of how to do that or what I'm doing wrong. That's
Did you do
encouraging
it on
to know.
Instagram? Is that what
Instagram,
you
yeah.
said? Um, so on Instagram, let me see. Let's take a look at it real quick. I still got my demo account open, so let me pull this up real fast. The demo account, we can play with all sorts of stuff in here. And then I know we have a few people that are in the background as well that just didn't have their pictures pulled up. So we'll make sure we get to those questions too here in just a second. Okay, so what she's talking about, for those of you who weren't here last week, if you go into automations on the left and then create a workflow up top, select a recipe, we have this new recipe Instagram comment automation. And if we select that, it's going to automatically build out like the main components here. And so let's say right here, we've got Instagram. Make sure that your page is connected properly, right? First of all, this is just like what I would check step by step. Make sure you've got your trigger as your page is, and make sure you've got your account connected and that's connected right.
Mhm.
And then once you check that, respond on comment. This is like the different responses that you want to send, but I'm looking for something specifically. Reply comment via DM, reply to DM. Yeah, each one of these, you want to just make sure that it's going to the right channel and to the right, that it's going to like every post that comes through for the most part. Without looking at yours, it's hard to tell, but I wanted to at least show this again so everybody knew what you were doing. Because it's respond on comment. This lets you put in the different types of responses that you want. You can add as many as you want, and you make it like comments and then send them a message via this way. Reply to DM. Use this reply, respond to user DM, or contribute to conversation. Yeah. Okay. So this is pretty simple right off the bat. If it's not working, I would definitely want to look at yours specifically. So let's do that. Let's like shoot me a message later when we get done here, and let's see if I can take a look inside of your account for you. Because
Okay.
I'd be curious why it's not working if it's like you've got those pieces in place, right? Did you build it out and do a bunch of fancy other crazy stuff, or is it pretty simple like that one?
No, I just did exactly what you said. I
Okay.
think what's the difference between reply to DM? Oh, reply to a DM or reply to a comment.
Yes. That's
Okay,
what, yeah.
so
So make sure we've got those two because
I did have
one will,
that.
yeah, one will respond to a comment on the post and one responds to a direct message.
Did you have somewhere where you're supposed to write in like what I wrote, write, tell me if you're interested, or comment, tell me if you're interested. But I don't see that on anything that I did here. Aren't you supposed to put those keywords in there somewhere?
Yeah, those would be on that path. So that's what I said. Let's jump into it and I'll actually take a look at yours for you. That
Okay.
way we can see exactly what you got there because that way we're not just guessing on here.
Okay.
That'll save you some time too.
Awesome.
We'll
Thank
jump
you so
straight in.
much.
We'll take a look at it. Yeah, no problem. All right, let me check the comments here, make sure we don't have anything else or see what else we have. And then I got a couple things from the group that we can talk about. for everybody who's like, if this is your first Freedom Friday or you're watching the replay on these, I like to get your questions answered and help you get back to making money as quick as possible. So we don't want you just to come in and just hang out and talk for an hour every week, but try to make sure we get things taken care of so we can move through the questions and get you guys back to doing real work. I see your message, Marlena. So it says locked out of your account. You can do it in chat if you want. Are you locked out of your scalability account? But just give me a little more context on that right there, so we can look into that for you. And then let's see, I think it is. Okay, I'm going to grab the Facebook real quick and take a look at some of the questions we had in there this week. Does anybody else who's on here have any other questions that we haven't addressed or that we haven't already set up to dig in with you after this? If not, we'll kind of address a couple things that are in here. One of the questions I saw in the group this week was when or if I need to use ads, marketing to grow my email list, things like that. Advertising and organic is always a big deal to everybody, right? Like, how do I get traffic? And we've talked about it in here different times. I know I've given everybody a strategy on like how to set up your Facebook profile to where it points to your community or your service or your product or whatever it is, and then how to go to other people's groups and actually interact, be valuable there, help people out, and get traffic back to your stuff organically. And then there's, of course, the making posts that are very interactive that get people comment below with this key phrase and I'll send you over this thing. Those are organic methods. And a lot of people are like, when do I start paying? When do I do these ads and things like that? Organically, I believe you should be testing and really interacting with your people to where you have an offer that is converting well. So you're going to spend a lot of money on ads to be consistent over time to get data so that you can figure out if ads are working or not. And one of the biggest mistakes people do or make when they're starting to do ads is they'll throw $100 at it over a week and they'll be like, it didn't really work. And then they won't mess with it for the next month. And then they'll throw $300 at a couple things. And then they'll be like, it didn't really work. And they'll kind of put it off again. So you want to make sure you have a good offer that people are paying you for. And like you really know your person. And when you talk to people, they go, this is great. I need this. And they're actually getting their wallets out and proving it and buying it. So that you know, I have a good offer. I know what my person's looking for because when I talk to them, they respond well and they get their wallet out and they buy. Because you need to know that you've got your offer dialed in and you know your person left, right, up and down and backwards. And every time you talk to them, what you have relates and sells. Because when you turn on ads, you need to commit to a certain dollar amount every single day for months. And if you turn it off, it breaks a lot of the data. I'm not an ads guy. I'm not a data guy, so I'm no expert on this at all. But I have spent a ton of money on ads and other people doing ads. And every single time it's the same. You have to turn them on and you have to leave them on for a while. And you have to test a bunch of them. And you have to know how to retarget. So when you run an ad, and let's say you run one ad, it's going to send it out to a whole bunch of people who have never seen your stuff. Now you're paying for people to see your stuff the first time. The ads might come around and see them again and again, but for the most part, assume that when you're running ads, it's canvassing a massive amount of millions of people to try and find the ones that are going to be interested. And so when you keep running that same ad to the same audience with the same idea of getting traffic, it's very big and broad. It's not hitting the same people over and over and over and over and over and over, because that's a separate campaign called retargeting, where you're going back and people that have interacted, you're now running ads that specifically targets those people and shows your stuff to them again. so that they saw the initial one and then they're seeing more and more ads for the same product, but they're seeing them in a different way. That's what I understand about ads is you have to kind of be in it for the long haul. And so, and you got to be able to test and retarget. So when and if you should use ads is when you're confident in your offer, it's converting and it's selling regularly, not once. Because if you sell something once or twice, that's good, but it's not nearly as good as if you talk to 100 people and 90 of them bought. Now you know you've got a really good offer that converts 90% of the time. So then when you start running your ads and you start getting the traffic out there, a lot of people are going to respond. And then you retarget, which is a separate campaign, separate set of ads that goes back to those people. And it's like, hey, I saw that you came to this page or saw this thing, but you didn't get it. Why not? Right? It's a very different ad. And a lot of people, I think, make mistakes where they just run the same ad and they just throw a bunch of money at it. And then they're like, nobody bought anything. In sales and marketing, you have to touch somebody 10 to 12 times before they're going to convert and buy anything. And that was 20 years ago when I was doing sales. I've heard with marketing online, it's up to like 40 times. And what that means is they have to, when I say touch somebody 10 to 12 times or 40 times, they have to see your name. You have to like a post of theirs, see it, send them a text message, send them an email. They see an ad, they watch one of your YouTube videos, they see an Instagram post of yours, they get a postcard in the mail, you send them a direct message. Each one of those is a touch. And 20 years ago, when I was doing sales, it was 10 to 12 times before somebody would buy from you. They would have to hear or see something about you 10 to 12 times before they buy. So I say all this to say, if you're going to transition into ads, understand and commit to, I would say commit to at least 6 months. I know it doesn't take that long to start getting data if you're a data person, but if you haven't run ads before, you're going to have a learning curve on the front side. And if you commit to 6 months, then it's you're in it for that long. And when I say commit to 6 months, I mean put back enough money to where you can consistently run those ads every single day for the next 6 months. And so put back $1,000 a month to run ads yourself. And when you have $6,000 and an offer that is converting highly for you and you're confident in it, then go, let's test ads and get started. Because just like everything I talk about all the time, consistency is what helps you win. And if you can't be consistent with the ads over time, you will not win with them. Like that's just 5 years of testing and spending money online. And I've had companies run them and everything else. The times that they didn't convert were always because my offer sucked. I didn't have things dialed in and in place. I just started throwing money at it early. So we were too soon, or we couldn't stick with it long enough. Because we had the offer, but we didn't say, I'm going to give it 3 months or 6 months. It was, let's try this out a couple weeks at a time and see what happens, or for a month at a time and see what happens, which just isn't enough runway to really get it going. So in other words, I wasn't all in on ads. I was dabbling and trying it. Those are always the times that it didn't work. So when you should commit to them is when you know your offer is converting and when you know you can give it at least 3 to 6 months, I would say, so that you can really dial in those concepts and test the market. Does that bring anything up with you guys? We kind of didn't have a lot of questions and things. So in the group, other than getting to some of the, like I want to dig into yours, Mindy, and yours as well, MJ, which will just take longer than I want to do on these calls to take a look at each one of those things. So if that's all the questions, Marlena, I'm going to shoot you a message too, because yours sounds like a tech problem. It's saying like you just can't get logged in because the email address or something is wrong. So keep an eye on your text messages and stuff, and I'll shoot you something and we will make sure we get you taken care of. Because that looks like it's just more of a trying to get you logged in and things like that. Cool. Well, if nobody else has any more questions for Freedom Friday, then we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. And then thanks again for giving me your time. I always appreciate it. I know time is something you can never get back, so I promise to not waste your time. I like to come in here and help answer your questions and get you back to making money as quick as possible. But I appreciate you guys showing up every week, giving me your time, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.